Time, I'd like to call to order the Administrative Services Committee meeting for June 4th, 2018. Please call the roll.
Counselor Corradino.
Here.
Counselor DeMasi.
Here.
Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Tesserero.
Here.
Counselor Wilmot.
Here.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 21st, 2018 committee meeting. Counselor DeMasi, Counselor Hill.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMasi.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tesserero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Is there any old business to address on this committee? Seeing none, moving right along to the first item on the agenda. Kevin Hill, Vice President of the Common Council, is requesting funding for the Summer Concert Series marketing proposal. Funds would come from the General Fund contingent account A.1990.0460. Councilor Hill, would you like to take this one?
I've been involved in the concert series for the past few years, and as of last year, we received additional funding. We were able to bring in some bigger bands, get some better entertainment, bring more of a crowd down to Veteran Stage. And we have the lineup for this year, and we just are looking for a little bit of additional money to cover the marketing plan for those bands. This plan would cover printed materials, which would include posters that will be hung in public buildings downtown and high visibility places. This also includes a large sign for the stage to add some cohesion and branding to the event. It will include advertising in the shopper. It will also include social media advertising. So I'm just asking for your support. I think this is, again, the best lineup we've had, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I think it'll be a good event for the city.
All right, any comments? Councilor DeMasi.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I helped out the first year with getting this going, and what it brings to Oswego from the growth that has happened from the beginning till now is incredible. I'd love to see some of the media get out in the Syracuse, Clay area, maybe get some more people in from outside the city to get in their boats and head on over.
Anybody else? No? Any other comments from the gallery? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Tesoriero, Councilor DeMasi.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMasi.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tesserero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
And we need a resolution.
We need a resolution, Councilor. Yep. Councilor Hill will take care of that. Item number 2. Robert Corradino, President of the Common Council, requests to hire the Bonadio Group of Pittsburgh, New York, to do an IT assessment of the city's technology infrastructure, which will include the phone systems to provide recommendations on improving it. Funds would be transferred from general contingent account A.1990.0460. At this time, there is a representative here from the Bonadio Group. And before you speak, I just want to have a couple comments. I think everybody on the council knows that we started at the beginning of the year with a new phone system, VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, and there have been some connectivity issues that we've all been aware of. Constituents having problems reaching DPW or City Hall. So that's what started this whole process in discussing what we can do and how we can fix things. I know Councilor Hill and myself spoke to a number of department heads and got the mayor. The mayor also was actually involved in the beginning, and then we kind of joined in. But the mayor reached out and asked the representatives from this organization to come in and have a meeting with us. So we're here today to hear what he can do for us and how much it'll cost. So without further ado, the floor is yours.
Hi, thanks everybody. What we would do is we would come in and not only look at the voice over IP system, we'd also look at your routers and switches. When we met a couple weeks back, we heard there were connectivity problems not only with the phone system, but also with Wi-Fi, as well as the new Office 365. So these things are typically intertwined. So, I mean, you might look at this assessment if you've seen it and said, well, why don't I just call the phone company to fix the phone? Well, it might not be just the phone. It might be the routers and switches, and if you're not an IT person, you look at your IT infrastructure as a house. We would look at your firewall, which is the front door, your routers and switches, like the doors inside your house, to make sure that those things are set up appropriately to ensure that you get the connectivity you need and you continue to be able to leverage the systems that you've paid a significant amount of money for. So we would look at those. We'd also look at your firewall, and we do a vulnerability scan. We have a large number of clients throughout the world that we help protect their assets. Oftentimes I hear in these scenarios, well, we don't have that much interesting stuff here that somebody would want to get into our systems. And what we found in the last year, people are less interested in stealing your information, and they're more interested in using your resources, your CPU, your central processing unit. People want to actually go out and use your systems to mine cryptocurrency. We have a large number of hospitals that have thousands of servers. And years ago, people wanted to steal their health information because you can sell it on the dark web for $25 to $50 a record. They don't want to do that anymore. They want to get in there, break into your system, and use your systems to mine cryptocurrency. Because one Bitcoin, I think, is worth $8,000 to $9,000. So getting into your systems is something we would look at. We're going to look at it from a high level, but nonetheless, we'll look at it to make sure that you're relatively void of a type of breach that we typically see. We actually started this conversation because we did work for the county. They liked the work that we did. We just finished that up about 2 weeks ago. So we look at all these components because we think that they intertwine and help you figure out why they're not working. We think we can do it fairly quickly, somewhere between a week and a half to 2 weeks at most.
All right, any questions for Charlie, right? Charlie?
I'm sorry?
Charlie?
Yes.
Last name?
Wood?
Any questions, Mr. Wood?
Yeah.
Tesoriero?
So you're going to identify the issues that we're having with connectability,
Yes.
drop calls. As far as the system, I mean, this is a citywide system, not just a particular building system. So there's multiple buildings that are
Yep.
connected to this. So this includes all the assets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And do we have a proposal, or what are we talking about?
Well, it was part of your attachment.
Yeah.
This is basically the proposal that was part of your packet. So you don't have the paper version, but
I do not have
and I don't see it in the digital version, do I? No, it was not part of the digital version.
So that's the phase one.
Yes.
So there's phases after.
There's a potential if you guys want additional services after that, yes. But the primary concern that we were asked to bid on was this connectivity issue.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Massey?
Have we, this has to be fixed fast. It's crazy, especially the phone calls and all that, especially for the mayor, let alone all the other departments. I mean, we need to do something quick. But have we worked with Mike on this to see, what we could do as far as in-house goes? And has he been a part of this before or has anybody else actually had the opportunity from in-house to actually take a look at this before we start? Because this could turn into thousands of dollars.
Well, I can answer that one, I believe. I met with 3 department heads. I met with police, fire, and the chamberlain's office, and also had Mike Bonney there as well. I spoke to Mrs. Code. And in all honesty, the issues and problems were more rampant in the beginning, but there are still some nagging things that are still causing problems with connectivity. So we're much better off than where we were back in January and February when we started this. But one drop call to the fire department to report a fire or to the police department is worth doing something now and not waiting. It's vital to get those phone calls to those departments, not to make light of the DPW. They get calls too that aren't life-threatening, but just that it's important. So in meeting with these people, the department heads, they express concerns that something needs to be done, done quickly. But again, it's much better than it was before, and our IT department has been working on it consistently, as I think everybody probably knows.
So has our IT department actually said, we've done everything we can to make this right? We've come this far. Have they given a timeline of, you know, give us a little more time, you know, let us, all of our resource time be put on this project. Figure things out, move staff around, whatever it needs. Have we resolved everything we can? We've come this far.
Well, I'll let the IT department talk for themselves, but I think one of the issues in this whole conversation that started a few weeks ago is our IT department is not capable of the fact that it's only one person. I mean, it's kind of a joke. Our IT department is one person for a city that has over 300 devices. And on top of it, we just did the install for the 365 Microsoft. And going back to January, we did the whole conversion for the phones. We also implemented paperless agenda. I mean, we've thrown this on the IT department in addition to the regular work. So there are some other conversations that we're going to need to make and decisions to make about the IT department. But I'll let the chairperson or the department head for the IT speak. Would you like to say something, Mrs. Code?
Well, you might want to hear from Mike, but the only thing that I can say is that Mike needs help. He's only one person, and he's running a lot of emails and weekend calls and other government, all sorts of things, and he's spread thin.
I think that was just what we, amongst all the things that we talked about, I mean, that was one of the glaring things. In the last 2.5 years that I've been in the council, we've spent a ton of money upgrading our DPW department, buying trucks, we're buying all kinds of equipment, the pothole killer and other machines. But the IT department has been a department of one person, and we haven't put the resources into it to keep it up to today's standards. And I mean, some of the issues in our meeting that you discussed, I think down the road we need to address, and that's part of phase 2 or phase 3. But right now we're more concerned about phone calls, emails, connectivity, making sure that the fire department gets their calls, which is critical. So again, that's what we're going to be talking about here, to try to take care of the immediate problems. But budget time's coming up, as you know, in August, and we may be talking about doing something else to beef up the IT department. I think it's a problem that is something we need to address sooner than later. Councilor Tesorio.
I personally witnessed this morning, I had extensive interviews in code enforcement and saw what the chaos it is, and it's complete chaos. Calls come, they don't come, they go, they don't get transferred, they're dropped. It's a complete mess. It's something that I think we really can't avoid right now. It's too important. It's too important to a building that needs to be connected to the public. The public needs to get to this building, whether it's through communication, and we have to provide the best communication we can. So I'm all in favor of going this step further. I think it's money that we got to spend. Do I like it? Well, nobody likes spending that kind of money, but we have to do it. We have to make sure that we have communication to the building that's the lifeline of the city. There's no doubt about it.
Councilor Gozick.
Yeah, thank you. I agree with Councilor Cordino and Tesorio, especially before the emergency services call, right? I talked to the chief yesterday, Little League team, and that was our topic of conversation. And I mean, it's pretty serious when you have issues like gas or fire. I don't like it either, I'll be honest. I wanted to ask Charlie one question. Have you encountered this with this particular company? Because my school district, I teach. I'm a high school history teacher, and we just shifted over to this. They got the same VoIP system. Remember the same exact problem in our school. The calls aren't going to people. They just it just got implemented, and they did it with like a month left in the school year. So it seemed like this company, I mean, obviously you're familiar with this company, I would take it, and have worked on fixing the system before. The company, what I understand, has no accountability. There was a clause in the contract that says you're on your own. If things don't work out, it seems to be it seems like there's something here with this product that isn't up to snuff here. I don't know. Can you talk to that, or you've obviously encountered having to fix this system before I take it?
So honestly, when we typically run across these, it's the router and the switch. That's generally the problem. You do a significant upgrade. A lot of times you won't upgrade all your other components, or you'll upgrade them, but they're not configured appropriately, so it chokes the data as it goes across the network. And when it chokes it, you got a certain amount of data that can come in and out of the network, so it'll stop one and drop it while the other stuff's going out. So we got to look at the routers, got to look at the switches, we got to look at the bandwidth. And so another place it could be dropped is at the firewall, that front door. So we've seen a significant drop in calls and the ability to actually get stuff through the pipe as a result of the first time through. And with anything else, like buying a car that's brand new, you're going to have some hiccups here and there, just generally not to this degree.
Councilor Massey.
I'm just going to say for my own self is I don't know if we looked anywhere else within our city or anything from hiring outside the city, but I believe I know this has to be fixed fast. I don't know if we had an individual that worked side by side with Mike to do it, if we had the time. We don't know what this is, the end result cost is going to be with just spending $9,500 to find out what the problem is. Mike already has the expertise of what he's already done. Like you said, we've come so far from January till now. Not that it doesn't have to be fixed right away, but I'm not going to support without knowing that we've looked right here locally to get somebody to come along and work with Mike to get this thing to happen.
Would you feel better if we asked Mike to try and...
Sure.
Mike, would you like to give us your take on this? Man in the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Bond.
First of all, point of clarification, you do not have an IT department. I am an IT tech for the Chamberlain's office. That is my designation. Everything else that I do for the city is, just a happenstance, I guess. But so you do not have an IT department. So just so you're aware of that. As far as the equipment's new. It was chosen by Onondaga County for us. It was configured by Onondaga County for us. I welcome a fresh set of eyes, whether it be local, whether it be from out of town. I have no problem with having someone else look at what's going on and giving some pointers, helping out. That's okay with me.
See, there's a hand up in the audience. Yes?
Do we not have a maintenance contract with our current home service provider, and does that not provide the upgrades?
Glad you asked that question. I happen to have the contract, the 12-page contract from the company, which is TPX. And they really, and I'm sure that Mike could probably confirm this, it's just that there really wasn't much support in the contract for them to give us. And it says here that, first of all, there was a service deployment guide. It says additional technical requirements and restrictions are detailed in the service deployment guide. Customer acknowledges that they must configure their networks based on the standards outlined in these documents. Refusal to configure per the deployment guide can result in CPE incompatibility, service degradation, and TPX's right to deny support to unauthorized configurations. So, to me, in talking with some people, I mean, this was a way for them to basically say,
Here's your manual.
here's the manual, and if you don't have the correct infrastructure, and that's something we talked about at the meeting.
Right.
We have infrastructure that it seems is not capable of supporting. You were mentioning the switches and the servers. It just that there's some issues here, and don't know if we really had the infrastructure to actually support this VoIP system. So again, we're not going to get any satisfaction by going to the phone company. But if we do, I will tell you that the rates are $150 per hour during normal business hours, and and you have to include travel time from Massachusetts in 2-hour minimum. Yes.
In my now past experience and somewhat humble opinion, Onondaga County must be short. Very, very short.
Okay. Oh, yes.
That was going to be my question. Has the calls or any responsibility of this fallen on them? Onondaga County, who configured, I mean, have we went out to them, reached out to them? Do they have anybody to provide to get us to where we need to be?
I think we're getting a little confused here. I mean, the only issue with Onondaga County, I mean, again, at the same time we did the phone system, we also converted our purchasing system. And the purchasing system also required some upgrades as far as some servers and some other switches, I guess. But we tried to do all this at once. Onondaga County was only involved in the purchasing end of it, which caused some issues. Again, in my interviews with people, caused issues with our overall infrastructure and overwhelming. But Onondaga has nothing to do with the phone system. We put it out to bid. TPX was the low bidder, and the council approved them as the vendor. We went from Verizon, I believe, which was copper wire, to voice over internet protocols. I see a hand up in the corner again here. Back in the corner, yes.
Yeah, for clarification, the only, the routers were selected based upon both Onondaga County and TPX's consent. They're a router that matches both of them. Okay, so they both agreed that those are the ones that would work for them. TPX sent us configurations, which I passed on to Onondaga County, but Onondaga County's main goal was for the purchasing. They did help out in the configuration of the phone portion in the routers themselves as well, but their main goal was the purchasing, if that helps.
It seemed like we were doing a lot all at once there in a short amount of time. That didn't help, did it?
Not usually, no.
Yeah, that's true. Too bad we didn't spread it out. Are there any other concerns or comments? Seeing none, may I have a motion? Councilor Cesario, Councilor Wilmot.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
No.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
And we need a resolution.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Yes, I guess I'll be doing that. Next item. Robert Corradino has a request on behalf of the Promotion Tourism Advisory Board to purchase 2,000 collapsible foam can holders with the Oswego logo. The Promotion Tourism Advisory Board received 3 quotes from 4Imprint for $1,690, Crestline $1,926.10, and Image Now $1,360, and they would like to go with the low bid from Image Now. There are no funds for this purchase, therefore, Robert Corradino is requesting a transfer of funds from the general contingent account A.1990.0460 in the amount of $1,360 to the tourism account A.6475.0460. Just to speak to this real quick, I know that there's 5 new councilors here, so I'll try not to be too redundant, but 3 years ago I was put on the Promotion and Tourism Advisory Board, and the mayor wanted us to beef up our visibility and our promotion of the city. In the last 2 years, we've purchased tents, we've had rack cards printed, and other brochures. So, as most of you know, we have certain events appearing at Harbor Fest, Cattle Boat, Cattle Fest, Pumpkin Fest. The whole purpose of this whole project is to try to piggyback onto the events that when people come from outlying areas, that we pass out information to try to get them to come back and to spend some money, eat in our restaurants, buy our gas, help our sales tax. But part of the promoting the city, 2 years ago, we purchased key fobs as an item that people could take home, and it has our website, so they can also be directed towards other events. Last year, we did a kitchen refrigerator magnet we put on their fridge. This year, we're talking about a koozie. Not this particular koozie, but one that has the Oswego logo on it. I think you people probably on the council got a picture of it that I sent, and there it is right there. It's not a color version, but that's a black and white version. It would have the similar to what we did on the other two items with the city logo and the city website. Drive people to that and to hopefully have them visit and to come back and see our community. Other than that, does anybody have any questions? Again, the whole purpose is to promote the city. Yes, that was in an email I sent out this afternoon to Linda. We have the city website on the logo. Any other questions, comments? Anybody don't see any other issues or comments? Can I have a motion? Linda? And Councilor Wilmot?
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
And we need a resolution.
I'll take care of that one as well. Before I close out that one, any councilor that would like to volunteer for the city event tent, see me after the meeting and I'll sign you up. Moving along. This is the engineering office requests approval of change order number 3, decrease in the construction contract with W.D. Malone Trucking and Excavating for the sanitary sewer rehabilitation area 2, final quantity summary in the amount of $110,969.81 for the actual unit price pay item quantities versus the original contract estimate. Mr. Johnson, I see you're in the audience. Can you expand on this?
Yeah, these projects are bid on engineer's estimate, and as you go through the contract, the items change. The amount of excavation might change, and the amount of pipe that goes in might change. So there's a decrease on some, there's an increase on others. At the end of the project, they tally all the work up. And this particular job ended up $110,000 less than the original bid due to the quantities, the change in the quantities on the project.
Just for clarification, the original bid was $2,058,359, and the new contract reduced price would be $1,947,389.19. Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Hill, Councilor Tesorerio.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Item number 4, or 5, I should say. The Wastewater Department is requesting permission for Chris Lucerto, Greg Kraus, and Beryl Bricklin to travel to SUNY Morrisville Environmental Training Center on the following dates for courses required to obtain their operator licenses. And there's September 24th to October 5th, October 9th through the 12th for Bricklin, and then for Lucerto, December 3rd through the 14th, and for Kraus, September 24th through October 5th. It appears that there is funding in the budget. Is there somebody that would like to speak to this?
As we know, over the past couple of years, we've been working to upgrade our training and certification levels of the wastewater treatment plant. This is a direct result of some of the consent orders that have happened in the past. We currently have moved one operator to a 3A level. He passed his test about 3 weeks ago, and he's moving into that position as soon as all the paperwork is taken care of. And then all of these gentlemen who are currently operator trainees will be moving into the 2A operator position and moving up the ladder for a succession plan. We've got an entire succession plan put together, and this really is our first step in that direction.
Very good. Any questions? Okay. Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Tesorerio.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 6, the Camden Group currently provides the City of Oswego Wastewater Department a superintendent, 2 chief operators, and a part-time laboratory manager, which meets the requirements of the City of Oswego and NYSDEC. The City of Oswego is looking to expand the agreement to add the services of a full-time laboratory supervisor and technician. You will require a budget amendment to G.8130.0440 and G.8140.0440, accounts in the amount of $15,000 each to cover this addition. We are requesting that the City of Oswego approve a 5-year contract with Camden Group Incorporated for the attached contract and make the requested budget amendments. Would you like to speak to this also, Ken?
Since I don't get here often, we figured we'd do it all in one night. So again, there have been some changes. We've had to expand our role a little bit. These little changes take care of that expansion in the role, provide some more services to the city. A lot of it is, again, driven by the consent orders, but also by some changes at the facility, again, raising that level of professionalism. We have a lot more happening. There are more rules and regulations that have come down, mercury minimization, SWIPs, a whole host of things. And so these extra hours are necessary to continue forward. And we're just about at the end of our first 3-year agreement, believe it or not. And so we thought, well, let's codify this and move forward with another 5-year agreement. That way we all know when we're trying to get the talent that we want, that we've got 5 years, that we'll be working with each other and making sure that everybody's on board and moving forward and got our plan. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all back down at the wastewater treatment plant since you were there last time, because I think you'll be really impressed with what's happened since you were there.
Any questions? Councilor Tesoriero.
So these are services that city employees can't provide? You don't have anybody trained?
Correct. This is actually the individual that is filling that position is a PhD.
Okay, Councilor Tomasi?
I've been wanting to come over, but does it still reek in your office area? Did that get fixed yet?
Come after 5.
All right.
Just a quick question. So the bottom line is we're making a part-time supervisor technician into full-time.
Correct.
Were there any issues leading up to this point that precipitated this decision? I mean, did we not do our job as far as were we lax in some areas? Did we find?
What's happened is that when we were the half-time, the rules and regulations have changed. So now we actually have a lot more work that has to be done, so a half-time position is not really being able to cut it. We had to move it to full-time to be able to handle all the new work that's come down the line. So there's a whole new, if you look at the consent order and the new permit, there's something called a SWIP, which is your stormwater discharges, and there's a whole new area of testing there. There's mercury minimization, and then they've also asked us for a whole new regime of testing on some of our industrial facilities. So our testing requirements have really grown, and our management of those have grown.
Thank you. Councilor Tesoriero?
Commissioner Feld, are you on board with all this?
Absolutely. Ken's doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
All right. Any other comments or questions from the council or from the public? Oh, I see a question in the front row.
Just a point of clarification. Supervisor/technician typically means one person doing both jobs. There's one for 2 people. We don't have. Are we getting 2 people?
No, it's one person.
It's one person.
Yeah.
So it's $15,000 each.
Each side, there's two sides, so for budgetary purposes, it's actually $30,000. For budgetary purposes, we split it up between the 2 facilities.
All right, thanks for that question. Any other comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Tesoriero, Councilor Hill.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 7. Thomas Kells, DPW Commissioner, received a request from Mayor Barlow to authorize the Chamberlain to pay Camden Group a sum of $16,150 from the contracted services account A.8320.440 for the preparation of an engineering report for proposed modifications to the chlorine feed system at the water treatment plant. Is there anybody that would like to? Oh, I see Mrs. Code has her hand up.
Account number is F83.44, the water fund and the general fund.
Say that again?
page 320,
F.
440, is the water fund. What's the security general fund?
Thank you. Put that in the public record and correct that going forward. Mr. Kells, did you want to jump in here?
I think you can probably speak to this better, but basically, like he was saying, regulations have changed. The chlorine feed system that we have now is, for lack of better words, archaic. We have an open flame heating that area, which is not up to code, correct? And this is something we have to do, basically.
Any other questions from the council on this? Anybody in the gallery? Okay. Can I have a motion? Councilor Hill, Councilor DeMassey.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 8. Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests permission to sign a participation agreement between the City of Oswego and the Northeast Regional Council of Carpenters. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to this? I don't see anybody in the gallery, but I was wondering if Councilor DeMass or Councilor Wilmot would like to
Yes, I can.
clarify this for us.
As a member of the Carpenters Union, I obviously will not be, I will be using an abstain vote. But this agreement does not cost the city anything. All it merely says is that the city, if they want to choose to hire some carpenters for some certain projects, if the DPW gets kind of overwhelmed and can't do some things, basically they're agreeing to pay their wages and benefits. So again, it doesn't cost the city anything. It's a yearly agreement, and at the end of each year, you can decide to re-sign or not sign. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns? Councilor Tesorerio.
Have we used this agreement before?
Not that I'm aware of. We have this agreement in the city of Syracuse and Onondaga County, and Oneida County also utilizes it.
Any other questions? Councilor Goza.
Yeah, I was just wondering, are the salaries compatible? I mean, or, you know, I mean, if you're compatible like what a DPW worker would be making doing the work?
I don't
have any idea. I'm just asking.
I honestly, I don't know what a DPW worker makes, so I couldn't tell you that.
Compatible, about the same cost delivered?
I can't answer that. Personnel and payroll,
I was just wondering.
Let's go to the right person.
The wage rate that is listed in the contract that I have a copy of is higher than we pay our employees currently. However, that's without any wages added onto it. So it's probably compatible or close. It might be a little bit more with the Carpenters Union, but didn't think that I was going to be asked this question, or I would have had more definite information. But looking at what I see in front of me, it's close.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yeah, and I don't think, and it would come back to us if we're going to hire anybody outside anyway to approve the wages and such, or would they just be calling them in?
No, they would, the agreement, and I believe, and I guess, I don't know if Rob can answer this, but once this is in, if the commissioner deems he needs some more help for a week or 2 days or whatever it may be, he can just call the union hall and request whatever manpower he would like, as long as the money is budgeted. Yeah.
Yes, I don't think this is an issue. I totally
It would
support
be-
it,
it would
and
be
I support
budgeted
the
money.
unions.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Abstain?
And we need a resolution.
We need a resolution. I'm sure the mayor's office would love to do that. Item number 9. Ken Sherville, president of the Camden Group, consultant to the city of Oswego, is requesting a transfer to fund fund immediate equipment and inspection concerns at the water treatment plant and associated pump station. One more time?
You won't see me again for the rest of the summer, so.
Every time we see you, it costs us money.
So we've been dealing with wastewater for the last couple of years. We're now really starting to focus on water. There are a lot of improvements that need to be made at the water plant. And I don't know, do you have a listing in front of you or of what that, what we're talking about there?
The work list?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We have it.
So those are things that either are driven by the Department of Health on their annual inspection survey, or things that need to be done in order to keep the water that we're sending to the residents of the city in compliance with the Safe Drinking Water Act. So all necessary items we need to take care of, along with more items that will be coming as we really start to look at that facility and upgrade it and do more to it.
I just have one question. I see on the work list the last item listed.
Mm-hmm.
And forgive me if it sounds like a dumb question, but it says a new
Hawk.
Hawk
Yeah.
C11 17 meter at Riley Pump Station. Now, I know the Riley Pump Station is relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
So is that replacing a pump that's gone bad, or was that in addition to?
That actually was never put in.
Oh.
So there is right now no means to monitor remotely the chlorine residual leaving the Riley Pump Station. So this piece of equipment allows us to monitor what is leaving the Riley Pump Station. Right now we don't. We have to go out and do it by hand in the distribution system. This way we know exactly what's leaving the facility. And it should have been there. I don't know why it wasn't.
We'll edit that out of the tape.
Okay.
So basically, and I don't think it's on the screen, but the total amount we're talking about on this work list is $40,000.
Correct.
Of the 6 items that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
$40,000. Anybody have any issues or questions for Ken at this point? Before we vote?
Any of this budgeted last year?
What's that?
Any of this budgeted last year or foreseen or?
No. I had just gotten there when we did the budget last year. I literally was there about 2 weeks before everything got put together, and so now in going through everything, and also you have the DOH report comes out. The Department of Health did their annual survey in February timeframe, January timeframe. I think we got the letter in January. So again, would not have been in the budget the stuff that was on their annual survey report for last year. It'd be in next year's budget, but I'd like to get it done before that.
That's very well.
I'd like to hear from the engineering department. Bob, you still here?
He's here.
I mean, how critical are we? How critical are we dealing here with these costs?
I can hear you.
I said, what are we dealing with these costs, and how critical we need to do it at this particular time?
Anytime you deal with Mr. Havner, it becomes critical pretty quickly. And, you know, with the change of management over to the Camden Group, it's possible that some of the stuff the previous manager maybe just felt was unnecessary. You know, so I can't answer why. You know, it's the way it is. But I do know that Mr. Havner is he's a stickler about all the details. And the sooner that the city meets all of his requirements, the better off we're going to be.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Hill, Councilor Tesorario.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 10. Kevin Caracoli, City Attorney, Tom Kells, DPW Commissioner, seek approval to enter into an agreement with the State of New York, Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation for a public utility easement over lands located on the grounds of Fort Ontario. Caracoli.
Good evening. This is a case of the legality catching up to the reality. If you follow that. The state of New York, the Fort Ontario site has water service. It's had water service for quite some time now. Earlier this year, the state of New York, the State Parks Department, submitted a easement for the water line to be placed on the park grounds. It's a state park. This would be a permanent but non-exclusive easement for the water mains to be installed on the grounds of the state park. No big surprise, they're already there. The work has actually been done. This is the state of New York kind of catching up to the reality and making it official. Now, you may ask, well, what happens if we just say no? I would recommend we don't say no. Because we don't want to find out. But SHPO, the State Historic Preservation Office, has reviewed this. Their synopsis is in your packet. They've gone through, they've determined that this is a positive and beneficial improvement to the state park to have potable water on site for the various reasons. This will allow for the installation and maintenance of those water lines, both new and upgraded lines as circumstances dictate. Again, this is a permanent but non-exclusive. Non-exclusive meaning that, you know, if there was another need for some other utility to go into that space, it could share that space. So it's, but it's designed to be permanent. So, I'm asking, as is Commissioner Kells, your permission to enter into this agreement. It is for the total sum of $1. That's what we owe to the state of New York, and they've said we acknowledge receipt of it already. So there's no need to tap the funds of the city for this agreement. But it does have to be formalized, and authorizing the mayor to execute the documents would be appropriate as well. So, happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on this important matter? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Hill, Councilor DeMasi.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 11, Nancy Stereo, Personnel Director, is requesting travel to the New York State Public Employers Labor Relations Association Annual Conference in Saratoga Springs, New York, held July 17th, 2018 through July 20th, 2018. Travel request is attached. Nancy, would you like to share anything else?
Only to say that this is the annual conference for the association I belong to that deals with the labor relations portion of my job.
Dry. Any questions for Nancy? How about a motion? Councilor Tesorario, Councilor DeMasi.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 12. Deborah Code, City Chamberlain, requests authorization for Joanne Woodward and herself to travel to the 63rd Annual New York State Conference of Mayors Fall Training School in Lake Placid, New York, September 23rd to the 28th, 2018. Ms. Code?
Thank you, Counselor. This is the annual conference that provides my continuing ed to continue my credentialed municipal finance officer designation, and this will provide Joanne her second year of training on her quest for her designation.
Any questions for Mrs. Code? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Wilmot, Councilor Tesorario.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesserero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
I believe, both on paper and on my digital format, I believe that was the last item for this committee. Is there any last minute or any other issues that we need to discuss? See none, can I have a motion for adjournment? Councilor Wilmot, Councilor Tesorario.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tesorero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee meeting for Monday, June 4th, 2018 to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Wilmot.
Here.
Counselor DeMassey.
Here.
Counselor Gozick.
Here.
At this time, I'd like to approve the minutes of the May 21st, 2018 committee meeting. Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Wilmot, Counselor DeMassey.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business under authorization. Number 1, the Engineering Department received a request from Brandon Porter, owner of a single-family dwelling at 46 East Seneca Street, located in the 2nd Ward, for use of public space to install a new 4-foot-high fence between the sidewalk and property line fronting East 4th Street. Counselor DeMassey, would you like to speak to this?
I would. I absolutely support it. He does a great job with this property, and I think it'll make it look nice, and it's not going to hinder anything, appearance or anything from those walking by, or for the visual aspect of it.
Are there any questions or concerns from the public? Okay, could I take a motion, please? Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Wilmot.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 2, Justin Rudgick, Community Development Director, received a request from Teresa Slozik on behalf of the Oswego Bookmobile to park the Bookmobile in city parks and street during their annual 2018 summer schedule and during the movie night in the parks for East Park on June 27th and August 22nd, 2018. Is there anyone here to speak to this event? Okay, spoke with the Community Development Office. They did go through the calendar of events. All of the dates were clear. They have done this in the past, gone to different areas of the city. Is there anything you'd like to add, Counselor? Yeah, the Bookmobile provides a great service to children in the community. I'm happy to see that it's still operating. So, any questions or comments from the public or other counselors? Can I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick and Counselor DeMassey.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
And that was the last item. Is there any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I will take a motion to adjourn. Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Wilmot.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to bring Planning and Development Committee meeting of June 4th, 2018 to order. Could I have the roll call, please?
Counselor Tesorero.
Here.
Counselor Corradino.
Here.
Counselor McBrady.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the May 21st, 2018 committee meeting? Councilor McBrady, Councilor Cordino.
Counselor Tesorero.
Yes.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Is there any old business? Okay, new business, we have a motion that's got to come off the floor that I would like to ask consideration to get permission to take it off the floor. So I can get a motion for that. Councilor McBrady, Councilor Cordino.
Counselor Tesorero.
Yes.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Okay, what we have is Councilor Ronald G. Tesorio requests consideration renaming a portion of East Albany Street to Caruso Brothers Memorial Boulevard. This was a tabled item. It couldn't be come off a table because we had to change the word. It was something that was before the last committee meeting. It was something that the Russo brothers, and I talked to extensively, talked to the Tereses. It's something that's going to be right in front of the Speedway. I think it's what everybody truly wanted. It used to be Harry Caruso Boulevard. Now it's going to be the Caruso Brothers Boulevard. There was a gentleman by the name of Robert Metcalf that sponsored this initially, but we just had to change some of the wording to make it right, so that's why it's coming off the floor tonight. So, can I get a motion to approve? Councilor McBurdy, Councilor Cordino.
Counselor Tesarero?
Yes.
Counselor Corradino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.
Is there any old business? I make a motion to adjourn. Councilor McBurdy, Councilor Cordino.
Counselor Tesarero?
Yes.
Counselor Corradino?
Yes.
Counselor McBrady?
Yes.